Well, hello everybody, greetings and welcome back to Rob's Arcade. Hello to all my fellow Arcadians out there. To those who are new to the show, I'm your host, Rob French, as always. And today we've got a very cool episode for you. Now it's Wednesday, so if you're a comic book fan, you know not only is it time for the midweek breakdown on Rob's Arcade, but it's also time for new comic book day every Wednesday. And now on Wednesdays, something else new to look forward to if you're a comic book fan is the Disney Plus new Marvel streaming series, What If? Now, What If is, if you're not familiar with the title, it's basically just what it sounds like. It's a Marvel title, that explores the question, what if? You know, we all know Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider and got the powers. But what if Flash Thompson had been bitten by that same spider instead? So it asked those really cool questions, and it was actually a Marvel comic book title that really got me hooked into the comics when I was growing up, because I was really new to Spider-Man, the Punisher, all these characters that I really loved, Wolverine, and I found myself kind of catching up to the stories that have been told for so many years. And I think that's a relative, I don't want to say, I guess, hurdle with coming into comic books for the first time. You've got so much history before trying to catch up and, find out like, well, what did I miss out on? And it could be a little overwhelming at times, but the What If series was very cool because they were pretty much like these one-shot little titles that ask that very simple question and explore these really cool ideas without really diving into the history of all the characters and the backstory of everything. And you just had fun with these really neat characters and these really cool powers and these really cool questions of what if. Now, I used to have a ton of these. I have one here now. This is the only one that actually remains from my original comic book collection growing up. This is an actual issue I bought back in 1995, October of 1995. Probably the last issue of What If that I ever bought. And I used to have quite a few other issues, a lot of stuff with Spider-Man, a lot of What If titles with Spider-Man. And there's a new What If title with Spider-Man out right now where we kind of dive into the idea of, what if he didn't give up his black suit and kind of like caved into the whole idea of becoming Venom. Really cool story that's out right now, but it's a What If title as well. And as I said, today was the very first episode of the series on Disney Plus, and I don't want to give too much away. I've got it on again right now just because it's super fun. But if you're one of those people who don't really dive so much into the animated features of some of the Star Wars, Marvel series that are available on, the Disney Plus stations, and you're more like, yeah, I like the Marvel movies, but I don't know that, I'll get into the shows, or especially like the cartoons. I know some people, they like the live action stuff, but when it comes to the animated series, sometimes, they're not as popular, or they feel like, it's kind of for kids, maybe. I think it's a general rule, like, oh, if it's animated, it must be for kids. I've got to say, this series is really not only fabulously done, but there's a really cool blend of like this realism and this animated like 2D style that's very traditional with, I feel like, Disney animation. But sometimes you're looking at these characters and you're like, how did they draw Steve Rogers to look so much like Steve Rogers? And how did they draw, like, it's so amazing how much Chris Evans is in the series and how much. Well, okay, that was interesting. I said series and my phone thought I was talking to her for some reason. But again, a really cool show, a lot of action packed into just a 30 minute series, and I kept like finding myself wondering, okay, well, where's it going to go from here, and where's it going to go from here, and jumping around a lot just within the 30-minute span that they were telling the story, only to find myself like, well, how are they going to end it now? Like, this is crazy. This is not what I was expecting. And the way they wrapped up the episode not only leaves you again like jumping all over the place, thinking like, oh my gosh, where could it go? The story could go from anywhere from here. But at the same time, they wrapped it up and they just left it a nice, neat little package where you can just kind of go, you know, I hope this character gets this moment, and I hope this character finds some resolution, much like they did in the version of the story that, you know, we've already seen. Because the great thing about this show is it looks like it's the same stories that we've already been told, but yet we're going to see them through eyes of, you know, different characters going through different events. So it's very, very cool take on, I guess, Captain America, the first Avenger film, only having Peggy Carter as the hero instead. So very cool first episode. I'm not going to give like a whole lot of spoilers away. If you haven't checked out any trailers or anything on the series, please hop on like IMDb, look at some videos, check out like everything you need to know about the series, and then, you know, dive in and just have some fun. Even if like you're not a Marvel fan, again, it's one of those series I feel like, you know, it doesn't really matter. Like if you've seen Captain America, you're going to see so many cool little Easter eggs and so many cool little things, and like, oh wow, this is so neat what they did. But I feel like if you're not a fan of all this stuff, you just kind of want to check out something fun and new stories, like the What If series is definitely the way to go. Almost like I woke up this morning too. I didn't realize it was coming out today, but I woke up this morning like, is there something I'm missing today? It's like, I know like there's Bad Batch on Fridays. You know, today, like, what? Loki's not out anymore, and I just happened to click on Disney Plus, and boom, there it was. Really, really excited, really cool stuff. I'm trying not to watch the TV now because it's on, and it's very easy to get distracted. But the animation again is beautiful. Stories are great. The action's amazing. So please, enough about that. Check it out. Trying to think what else was going on. Not a whole lot this week. It's been a pretty mellow, pretty quiet week. You know, just did a little bit of YouTubing on Monday and Tuesday like I normally do. We got Superman challenges out now on Fortnite, so I hopped into that for a little bit and knocked out some of that with a friend of mine today. It was pretty fun. Although it was like, my system was pretty much telling me like, dude, Rob, it's time to. I was playing for like 2 hours. I'm like, do I need to hop off? Do I need to grab some lunch? Do I need to? And my system just like shut down, started like rebooting, and was like reloading, downloading, and all this other stuff. And I was like, all right, well, I guess if that's not a sign, then I don't know what is exactly. So yeah, not a whole lot going on. Hopefully you guys have been having a great week so far. You know, I don't really know what's going on with you guys. None of you guys like to comment. I don't even know if you guys like the videos because I don't really see a whole lot of likes on any of my videos. So before I head out and wrap this up, let's go ahead, take a moment. Let's hit that like button. Let's go ahead, comment down below. Let me know how your week was. Let me know if you've had anything exciting going on. If there's anything you want to know about, if you have any questions, anything you've been watching in other videos, you're like, hey Rob, like blah, blah, blah. Let me know. I'll read the comments, always check them out. Always kind of excited when I hear back from different people. So yes, let me know what's going on with you guys. Let me know how your week has been. Let me know if you guys have any plans coming up this weekend. I got some friends coming into town. Well, some family and some friends. Carrie Ann's cousin is coming into town this weekend, so we're going to be having some fun. And then I've actually got to call a friend of mine who I told, I was like, yeah, I got the whole weekend open, but I actually forgot we got planned Saturday to do some family stuff. So I got a friend coming into town this weekend, so that'll be fun. Haven't seen him in like ages. He was like a brother, you know, in high school, growing up and stuff. So it'll be fun to see Scott again. Haven't seen Scott in quite a long time. But yeah, this weekend looks like it's gonna be pretty fun. I think we're gonna hit Busch Gardens if the weather holds out, but there's talk of like some tropical storms kind of rolling in, so we'll see how the weather holds out. Let's go ahead and head out to the comic shop, guys. Today's gonna be fun. We're actually not gonna hit the normal comic shop. Today we're actually gonna hit Yancey Street Comics and visit Carrie Ann's cousin, hopefully. I don't know. Oh, just got a message. I am. Boom, there we go. Okay, I was just waiting to see if she was working today. Just got the confirmation she is. So let's go ahead, let's wrap this up. Grab our mask, grab our wallet, go ahead, grab our car keys. I'll see you guys in a few. Later. Here we are. Yancey Street Comics. Looks like hidden up in the corner here. A little corner shop. Oh, very cool already. All rightly, dightily, our cadets. Wow, what a very cool store. I wish I had just kind of like aborted most of my day this morning and gone to the shop and just kind of hung out there all day. The main goal was to hang out with my cousin. I'm just gonna call her my cousin Courtney. It's my wife's cousin, but I mean, she's family now. I'm just gonna call her my cousin. Basically, went there to the shop to see her and just to kind of hang out for a little bit and check this place out. And oh my God, it was such an amazing shop. And, you know, real quick, one of the things, you know, I showed you a little bit of the video of the store there, and I want to save some because it was so much to look at and so much to check out. But one of the things about these stores here in Florida that I just cannot get over is the energy and the vibe that is alive inside of all of these stores. I've been to Urban Legend Comics, the Comic Book Club, and now Yancey Street. They all have that same very cool vibe that's very reminiscent of the very first comic shop I fell in love with, which was the River Street Comics, just across the street from my house. Growing up there, I was very fortunate. Not a lot of people, excuse me, I got something on my lip there. Not a lot of people growing up have access to comic book shops. Not only did I have access to a comic shop right across the street in those pivotal comic book years, but it was a very cool shop. It was one of those places I could go, hang out, like pretty much put my feet up, sit back and flip through comics. And I feel like every shop I've been to just has that same vibe. Such a cool store. Shout out to you guys at Yancey Street. Man, mwah. I got to get there one day early and just kind of hang out and like flip. Like they had a whole room full of dollar comic books. Dollar comic books. I can go there with a $20 bill and come out like a champ. You know what I mean, guys? It's so amazing. But enough jibber jabber. I feel like I've been talking your guys' ears off enough. My wife's probably dying to get to the bedroom here so we can, no, nothing like that. Get all gnarly. But let me go ahead and just jump in and show you guys what I did pick up while I was at Yancey Street. Very cool cover here of the Joker #6. I absolutely love the zaniness of this, the eyeball, the little pincushion Batman down there in the corner. Very cool book. I believe this was George's pick at Yancey Street. I was able to pick up the first issue of Sinister War at Comic Book Club. I missed the first one. Luckily, these guys had an issue there. This was like a one-shot that popped out and I missed out on as well a couple weeks ago, but I also found this at Yancey Street. And I feel like this ties into one of the comics I just read where they find him loathing himself. Got my Robin number 4 here. And then also have, I was looking at this right here, my Batman 89 #1. Now I feel like this is going to be a really cool comic book, and it's a little mini series, 1 out of 6. But this was the Batman that got me into comic books as far as Batman goes. Like I was kind of like starting to read comics a little bit, like some horror comics here and there. And the Batman movie was definitely something that got me into the Batman comics itself. Also, speaking of number ones, another pick here at Yancey Street. We've got Defenders #1. Very cool book. I hope this becomes a Marvel MCU movie title very soon. I know they had a series on Netflix, but I think the Defenders need their own movie. What do you think? Comment down below. Let me know. I might already have this issue. 253 second printing is a very good chance I have this already. Maybe not. Probably not, actually, now that I think about it. But at any rate, very cool cover nonetheless. I don't have this cover, if that's the case. And I just love this cover. Very cool. Very cool. Got to get this signed by the president one day. And then I also picked these guys up. Now, I've been really getting into these little figures here recently. I don't know why. They are very cool. Oh, these guys are neat. Look, I don't know if you can see that. If you hold light up to the top of their head, oh yeah, you can kind of see their eyes light up. Look at that. You put some light at the top of their head. So cool, very cool. But I've been getting into these little these Kenner figures, and got the armorer here, the armorer. Been getting into these characters, and I don't know if you followed me in any other videos about Star Wars. I used to hate Star Wars because of these figures. Absolutely because of these figures. And I think I'm going to share a story with some of this. We'll get into that. Maybe I'll do, maybe tomorrow we'll do some unboxing. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. But I used to hate Star Wars, and it was basically just based off the action figures. Now, I kind of cheated a little bit, you guys, and I said I was going to Yancey Street. Before I did, I had to hit up my boys at the comic book club because they had this guy. Speaking of the Kenner figures, we got the retro Mandalorian. Been super hard to find him. I found, Quill and Karga, Moff Gideon. All of these guys have been at like Disney Springs and different Disney places, but I have not been able to find Mando. So very cool. They have one more at the comic book club. I'm going to give it a week. If no one buys the second one at the comic book club, he's coming home with me, staying in the box, and say less. So let's go ahead and check out. I just love it. They're the same scale as these guys. I'm just so excited. Let's go ahead and check out what I picked up from the comic book club. A couple of other stuff here. Oh, very cool. Batman Urban Legends #6. We got Batman Detectives. Love that cover, by the way. Super Sons. Such a cool, fun series. Got some Web of Spider-Man #3. Now, I picked up #1. Haven't seen #2. And I actually think I'm going to start handing these off to my homeboy, Anthony, so his kids can read Spider-Man. I feel like this is a great title for kids who want to get into comic books. The new Web of Spider-Man. Pick it up. Absolutely recommend that for kids. Speaking of Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I've been loving this Clone Saga. First Clone Saga. Let's not talk about it. Ooh, now we're getting into the 80s with the Fantastic Four. 60s was wild, 70s was funky. Now we're getting into the 80s, which is when I grew up. So we know that's going to be jamming. Boom! I wish I could find I wish I could find the first issue to this. I haven't been lucky today so far, but I'll peek around a little bit more and maybe we can find the first issue to this Netflix spinoff comic book. Definitely going to check out the series. Love some He-Man. And then, of course, Hardware, part of that whole Milestone, Static Shock spinoff, reboot, revamp. Here we go. Love it. And then, of course, speaking earlier of What If, here we have the Spider-Man title I was talking about. What If Spider-Man, Spider Shadow. Very, very, very cool title. Well, there we go, guys. That's everything I got today. Let me know if you've read any cool comics lately. Let me know who your favorite superhero is. Let me know if there's any comic books that you've seen me talk about that you want to know more about, or if there's some characters that I haven't mentioned and I don't really, like sometimes I don't read like every single title and every single comic book and everything. So, let me know if there's like a title out there that like you're interested in. You're like, hey, dude, you never talk about this. You should really read this issue. You really, really like it. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Until next Wednesday, that's all I got. And I'm actually going to wind it down here just a little bit and and I like to play around a lot. During the break, I got some really sad news. A dear friend of mine lost someone very, very, very close to him. I mean, we're talking closer than closer than close. And I'm sitting there trying to focus on my Wednesday, midweek breakdown, and it's kind of hard to enjoy comics and figures and stuff, knowing that a dear friend of mine is going through some really serious heartache right now. I hate to get so deep on you guys, but do me a favor, man. Hug your loved ones. Tell them how much you enjoy their company, and don't take any time for granted. I'm not going to mention any names or anything right now, but I know you're watching. I know you're listening. I know you're hanging out with me, and I just want you to know that me and Carrie Ann, we love you a lot. Our hearts go out to you, and if there's anything you need, we're right here for you. And that goes for everybody out there, man. Love all my fans. Love everybody who watches. So, yeah, guys, I mean it. As soon as you finish watching this video, go hug a loved one, okay? Until next time, guys, this isn't goodbye. It's simply to be continued. And, of course, until next time, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Later. Thanks so much. Peace. Okay, honey, you can come in now. I'm done with my videos. Hello? Hello? Hello?